Hello and welcome everyone to FPL Jedi Show Deadline Stream. We are now in Game Week 33 in the middle of the week. Just finish up Game Week 32 and our focus will be ahead. My name is Hafiz and I would like to invite Azmin to the stream. How are you, brother?
I'm good to go. Have a good Hari Raya coupled with some good fantasy football points. So, all
All
set.
right. Okay. Azmin is in very good mood because he actually scored quite a high points in game week 32. We'll definitely run through the team. And I think we just want to take some note that we have actually received the double game week announcement of game week 36 and 37. So we already completely know how the season will be. It's as expected. Okay. Of which game week 26, we have Brighton and Newcastle going to play twice. And then on the 37, United, City, Chelsea, and Brighton will play double. So I think that's conclude of the season. We are only live with what? 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, like 6 matches to the end of the season, So it is very crucial for our transfer,
Yep. So lots really the injury news is especially important. Yeah, and also you need to read between the lines because this is when the managers are really gonna start playing some magic.
Okay, let's run through our team. First, we go through your team. A quick one recap for game week 32. You actually scored 75 points. The average point last week is 42 points. And
Okay.
you already jumped to 100,000 places, right?
Yeah. So 200,000. Okay, so basically I saved the transfer from last week, a very rare event for me. So I ended up doing 3 transfers and took a negative 4 hits. So it's actually 71 in total. So I got the transfers were made for Gui, who returned the clean sheet, fine. Andreas, who did quite well. I'm very happy with him. And Darwin, who unfortunately I read Klopp's thoughts wrongly, thinking that he might get the start and he didn't. So unfortunately, imagine if I had been Jota, that would be sky high. But anyway, I think Salah was the popular captaincy. I had Saka and Martinelli, and I think most people had. One difference with me between the free hitters, because as you can see, I did the free hit, was the fact that I didn't have a third Arsenal player, which I think worked well, given that Arsenal failed to keep a clean sheet and the popular players like Jesus blanked and I think Trossard didn't do anything. So yeah, I had Saka, Martinelli, the 2 players that mattered. So I was very, very happy with that. And of course, the biggest fun of all was the Newcastle Spurs game. And I wasn't even aware what was going on. I suddenly realized, oh, there's a match going on. And suddenly it was like 5-0. And I was like, oh, the match is almost over. Oh, hang on, no. It's only the 21st minute or something. It was insane. I had to go back and look at the highlights and see what was going on there. And it looks like and you got to be worried about Spurs, but as we know from the fallout with Spurs is the fact that the Stellini is now no longer the manager. I think we can announce that. But I don't mind. I got my points and ran off. Even Isaac got substituted off, hopefully to keep him ready for the next one, because we know the Isaac Wilson dilemma is always an issue.
All right. Okay, good. I'm happy for you, Okay, so hopefully it's propelled better moving forward. You already set up, if I can see here, game week 34 and onwards. Just a quick one for my team. I did play my free hit, and then I only scored 66 points. To be frank, maybe I'm a bit disappointed because when you're free hitting, you definitely want really big points, right? At least, I don't know, 80 plus points. People eyeing for that. So as you can see, I only had a really small increase in rank from 13,100 to 12.6. Like, I don't know, 600 places better than before. But at least a green arrow. But to be frank, I actually expect a lot more points from this. As you can see, everyone played Johnston, who actually got 10 points. I almost actually end up playing Leno over Johnston, but then I really just follow the crowd, and Johnston got like um, save point and then bonus 3 points and so on. Crystal Palace end up only nil-nil. Okay, and then I have actually played three Liverpool asset, of which I double up in defense. Okay, I did not play Gakpo or even Jota, but at least Robertson and TA produce 5 and 4 points from them. Okay, no clean sheet, but at least got some assists from them. TA I think got one bonus point. Trippier only 2 points. Newcastle did concede in that game of a big win 6-1 against Spurs. Okay, but clearly I do not have other Newcastle assets like that matter. People like have on free hit they play Shaw, who I think he's got 8 points. Jacob Murphy, nobody gonna have him, but he's got 13 points. And then I said 13 points. I do not have him. Actually, I really keen to have at least one Crystal Palace midfield, of which I decided Eze. Disappointing. He only got 3 points. Nothing from him. Nothing from Olise or even Crystal Palace. To be frank, Martinelli and Saka got, I think those are the two best Arsenal assets last week, 9 points and 13 points. Jesus, I had the third as Arsenal asset. Like you mentioned, only 2 points, disappointing. Salah continue his form, 7 points and got 14 because he's my captain. Watkins and Solanke also did not perform. If I had Jota or Isa or even Tony, I think that's the right decision that you should take. Solanke because he got like 15 points against Spurs last week, so people really wants him at home against West Ham, but it turns out a mauling from West Ham away 4-0. Whoever thought of that, man? Huh? So then clearly I got only 66 points. A bit disappointed, but I think we need to move on for game week 30. Okay.
Yeah. So just a quick one. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, on the hindsight of it, you're looking at teams like West Ham, who at one point I thought they were just going from day to day and trying to survive, but turns out they seem to have found
Yeah.
another level of play, and suddenly they're doing much better. And another team which unfortunately, because we didn't have the game stream before, the game week was Fulham, who I was one of those who thought that they were already on the beach. But
Yeah.
the last couple of matches, I thought, Fulham seemed to be back on again, and that's why I went for Andreas. And they are still within a shot of playing for to be in Euro, so it's still on.
Okay. All right. I think that's the team of ni. Let Chelsea mean quick one fixture ticker
Yep.
after updating the game week 36 and 37, and we can now see the rest of the fixture for the season. And on top of the ticker is Brighton, because they will double in game week 34, double in 36, and double in 37. So basically, logically, we should have three of those Brighton assets. That's, I think, what we should do. Okay. And then after that, we have Manchester United. Okay. They do double in 34 and 37. And then Man City, no surprise, they also double in 34 and 37. And then we have Liverpool at fourth. Man, like you mentioned, Liverpool has really good fixture until the end of the season, except Spurs. But Spurs, you already know, 6-1 and they Stanley has been sacked, so anything can happen in this fixture. Spurs are really in danger not qualifying for Champions League spot. And then Fulham, and to extend Newcastle also will double in 36. And on the bottom of the ticker, just a quick one, Brentford will have to play Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs and Man City. Arsenal do not double anytime soon. They play Man City, Chelsea and Newcastle. Brighton inside there also. Leeds, Villa and then Forest. So these are the ticker, man. So what you can say about this?
So yes, obviously Brighton have the most packed schedule of any team, and it looks good, but you have to worry whether they'll be exhausted, and it will affect the play. And we know that we are now in the midweek for the game week 33 is the midweek fixtures. Then you have the next weekend will be Wolves, Manchester United, Everton, all back to back to back. So it's weekend, midweek, weekend, midweek, weekend. So it's really interesting to see whether Brighton can cope, and we can look at the injury list later, and we'll see what happens there because there are some work concerns as well. But yeah, and you have Manchester United and Manchester City, Liverpool. So you're looking at those top four, and even Fulham and Newcastle all the way to six. All those six teams are all fighting for something, and that's where it's very, I mean, it makes sense to want to look at getting as many
Mhm.
players as you can from these players. The chances of rotation might be less aside from fatigue because you'd want to keep the best players as they continue to fight for something. So it may be more in the sense not so much as a full rotation, but managing the minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Right, man. Would like to welcome Ivanar and Studio Naga to this stream. Thank you for joining our stream.
Hi guys.
All right. Let's go quick one, man. Game week 33 fixture is a single game week. We are going to start off with tonight match Wednesday, basically Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then Thursday night matches. Okay, so it's a really packed schedule for midweek. We have Wolves versus Crystal Palace. Wolves still fighting to avoid relegation. We have Villa, who on form, but actually they drew against Brentford last week. They are facing Fulham, and the odds are Aston Villa are gonna win this game. We also have Leeds versus Leicester. Both teams are also in needs of point. Leicester did win last week 2-1, but Leeds back to back, at least for now they still kept losing and they need a win up front now in front of their crowd against Leicester. We then have Wednesday night, Forest versus Brighton. Forest also need a win, but they will face Brighton, who actually lost in FA Cup semi-final. So we're not sure about their moral. Okay, we have Chelsea, who I don't know. They are on the beach, I suppose. Nothing to play, but they still have to play Pride against Brentford. This is a London derby match. We have West Ham also qualified in semi-final European Conference League. There's some momentum. They want to continue. They're still in relegation battle, but they're facing on form Liverpool. And then we have top two clash battle. Mean nothing bigger than this: Man City versus Arsenal. We have then on Thursday night Everton, who need points against Newcastle, who are actually fighting for top four. We have Southampton and Bournemouth, relegation battlers. And then another interesting match, Spurs versus Manchester United. They are in top four battle. So a quick one, man. Give me 33 picture. What interests you most?
Lots of interesting matches, really. I mean, the Crystal Palace and Wolves, um, because with Crystal Palace's resurgence, are they going to continue? But I'm sure quite a few people punted on Crystal Palace for the free hit, and it paid off for the keeper really because I think people went with Eze didn't return, Olise didn't return. It was ended up with a 0-0. Um, West Ham versus Liverpool is definitely something to look at. But the Forest versus Brighton. So this is going to be interesting because you got Forest who, by historically play much better at home against a possibly
Yep.
tired Brighton side. So you got to wonder. And then we know that Welbeck's injured. We
Mhm.
know you just earlier you mentioned about morale and the question marks around Solly March because Solly March he missed the penalty. He was the one, and but of course a lot of people will expect he will still continue to play. On the Forest side, the number of games that Forest can expect to pick points from, the next three are okay, but after that it gets really problematic. So they need to pick up those points. So you think that if you want to take a punt on someone like B Johnson, I think Brandon Johnson, I think it might be fair because I think Brighton will concede in this one. Chelsea versus Brentford. I don't know what to think of Chelsea. I'm sorry. it's so weird what's going on there. I just avoid. We know that Lampard has said that Mason Mount and Reece James is out again and possibly for the rest of the season. Brentford are fit, so you'd expect that Brentford to exploit, and that's so those who have Kepa versus Raya, I'd go for Raya. Seriously.
All right. They will talk in a long length Mena, we jump straight to the team news, Min. I think we need to
Okay,
cover
yeah,
quickly before our 1 a.m. deadline. That is the
yes,
time for us, Game
yeah.
Week 33. We go first. Wolves versus Palace. What's the latest news for both teams?
Well, if anything with Wolves, you already seen this is where the gamesmanship is going to come into full play with Lopetegui mysteriously saying some other player has an issue. Okay, so he got Lamina fine because we know that he picked it up during the weekend. Yeah, but now someone else has a little injury, but who knows who it is? So that's a risk there. For Palace, uh, we saw that Johnston stepped up during the free hit, but now it looks like Guaita could be back, and we don't know. But Johnston was really a free hit pick, wasn't he? I think most of those who were not on a free hit didn't pick him.
Yeah.
So Zaha inclined back, but available at some stage, so that's not promising. So I expect that team will continue to be as is.
All right, man. I think whoever have Eze and Olise, especially if they are actually trusting Palace, they did blank last week, but Palace still have a favorable fixture moving forward. So you just need to trust on their Palace asset.
Yep.
Let's go next one. I mean Villa versus Fulham. Okay, and Fulham did win, but Villa drew last game. So what's the latest news?
Okay, so apparently, if you remember Martinez, he came off at halftime last weekend and
Mm-hmm.
with some sickness, so it's not confirmed yet. Will he be ready? According to the quotes, he said hopefully Abelino Martinez is ready for tomorrow. So that's very not really certain. The other players are not players to add for tomorrow. They are not injured, but are not ready for tomorrow. So there's nothing else other. So that Cash, Camara, Coutinho, and Nibali remain out. So that's fine. On the Fulham side, no changes. It's pretty much it as is. The
Yep.
only thing is that the biggest difference is Daniel James, who couldn't play last weekend, so against Leeds, so he's back.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So he can play. Uh,
Okay.
he can play. Yeah. So not Leeds.
Okay. So basically, I just touch on Aston Villa. Maybe Martinez, the predator line did mention Martinez, but Olsen could actually come in for this game. Okay, if it's not fit. Another one interesting one. I mean, I saw Digny on the predator lineup, but I feel like Moreno should actually continue because he sub out early in the last game. I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that one's a tough one. Yeah, but Digne has not been. Moreno has been the better left back, really. So,
Yeah.
all circumstances. But I guess the question is whether there's any rotation thing. So that's where there's a risk there.
Also, interesting facts is Fulham will double in game week 34. This could be an like audition if you're interested in any Fulham set.
Well,
Say
well,
for Andreas, right?
yeah. Well, that's the reason. I mean, for me, because I didn't have a free hit, that's why I picked up Andreas early last week because I think looking at that game week, basically Andreas is the constant, and actually even though he did score the goal, but he also hit the post twice, I think, and then apparently he's the third most player in the league this season to hit the post. So
Oh, okay.
he's got to hit the most post the most times. So he's
Alright.
got this. I think he'll push on, and in the absence of Mitrovic, it looks like he's really stepping up to play his role to drag Fulham into Europe.
All right. Okay, man. Let's jump to the next game, which is Leeds versus Leicester. Okay. I quickly have a peek at the table, the league table, and then I saw like Leeds at 16 and Leicester at 17. So they really 1 point for this game.
Yeah, so there's nothing. Okay, so again, okay, like Lopetegui, Garcia also did the same thing, in terms of you know dodging in terms of whether there's any injuries in this case to Wober and Liam Cooper, and Liam Cooper has been really instrumental in the last game. It's really important for Leeds, and if without Cooper, could get even worse. And so we got Leicester. Apparently, Madison, who missed out after having another bug from from the last game, so he's going to be able to play. So we saw some, but without Madison last week, we saw Leicester doing well with Dean
Mhm.
Smith. So, but I expect Madison to be.
I'm not trusting medicine anymore. To be frank,
Me
medicine.
neither. I think I'm on the record saying, but I just have my doubts about his injury issues. So yeah, he can perform well one match and disappear, not play the next match. So it's too risky
Uh,
for me.
yeah, I think this interesting match. If Leicester could win this game, I think they have the momentum to get themselves out from the relegation. Okay, let's go next game, which is like you mentioned, Forest versus Brighton. Interesting match. What's the latest team news?
Okay, so for us, you've got the as mentioned, McKenna missing the remaining of the season, so that's got to hurt in terms of the that dodgy backline that they have. But with Koyate out, Aurier out as well. But we got Williams who did score um, uh, last week against Liverpool. So yeah, so that's the worry for us. But of course, Forest at home, they tend to be much better. Now, the biggest one on the Brighton side, as all the Brighton players return after the free hit. Now, Welbeck's a problem, but a lot of people mentioned Welbeck weren't picking up Welbeck anyway, despite him doing decently. Ferguson, who is someone who I risked, who I brought on the wild card and hasn't done well because he got injured. So it was clear he said he wouldn't take any risk with Ferguson. So instead, he's got some Argentinian fella named Facundo Buonanotte. So I had to look it up this day and find he's some Argentinian 18-year-old guy. But where he will play, I'm not sure, and who he will play because apparently he's a left-footed attacking midfielder who can play on the right. So so
I
so the
really don't know whether this guy has actually ever started or play. I
He's
really.
never started, but I've done the research. He's come on as a substitute
Okay,
few
all
times,
right.
and he has assisted once. So that's the he. Okay, a bit more research. So I apparently his manager, who happens to be Carlos Tevez, his previous manager, likened him to a young Leo Messi. So we'll see. So he definitely got my attention there. Anyway, so there's a lot of conspiracy theories as to where he will start. With some is March going to be playing? Could Bononente even possibly replace March? I think
Okay.
that's a bit of a stretch. But as you can see from here, it appears he has replaced Enciso,
Yeah,
who would play there. Yeah,
I don't
and
know. I
Undav.
expect him to play, right? But
Yeah,
oh,
I don't know. And Undav is starting, so let's see what happens there. But the upshot of it is McAllister is confirmed to be playing at the back, so that's not good for him.
okay.
Um,
Mean,
okay.
I just want to touch. What's the scenario of goalkeeping section for Brighton? Because there's a lot of conversation.
So
Gila,
this
go.
so
Sanchez.
this is the problem. Apparently, he RDZ said that yes, Sanchez did really, really well in the battle of the Spanish keepers in the FA Cup semi-final last during the weekend. But apparently, Steele is going to play. But when asked, he said, "We will see." So it's
Hmm.
it's a
I'm not
problem for
quite
those.
liking this. Hmm.
I mean, maybe it's not so risky this week, but next week with the double game in hand, it becomes a something that you need to worry about. So but of course, the thing is, most people would have either Steele or Kepa, isn't it?
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and Kepa, Chelsea just look all over the place. You probably run the risk fielding Steele anyway. So yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I would start Steele and hope
All
for the
right.
best.
Okay. That's the situation of Brighton. Next is Chelsea versus Brentford. Frank Lampard did mention, like you mentioned, Reece James and Mount is out for the season.
Yeah, so yep, speaking just now mentioned Steele versus Kepa. And so this one even then it says Kepa is going to start. So will he at this point with Chelsea doing horribly? Maybe Lampard will use the chance to play Mendy instead. Who knows? we won't know. So anyway, I mentioned earlier that James and Mason Mount is out for the season. I think Havertz is out as well. Oh yeah, Havertz is out as well. So how Lampard will line up Chelsea is anyone's guess. But if I, they're not they're not someone you would want to pick, will they?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Confirm.
Forget Chelsea, and then those who have kept. I mean, the thing is, quite a few of us still have Chilwell, and I think you'll be
Mhm.
looking to get rid because unfortunately, there's the potential is just
Yep.
down. There's nothing
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the Brentford side, nothing significant really. So Raya and Tony should continue to start, and by all accounts, they can do well against Chelsea.
Okay. I just want to mention, on Tony, because he already over or get over the game week 32 fixture without a yellow card. So he will now be able to play until say he receive another 5 yellow card before he can be suspended.
Ah,
So basically
that's
Tony are ready lah if you start with him until now, like me.
that's good news. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people with Tony will be very happy right now.
Okay, next one, your team, West Ham versus Liverpool. Is there any significant news for both teams?
Okay, so David Moyes there wasn't really much. Because they played quite late, so um, only Skamaka, and that's it. And but you would I mean, the lineup has Creswell starting, but Emerson could start here. I'm not
Yep.
sure because they might still rotate that. I don't know. I have Emerson, not that I'm getting my hopes up. It's not exactly something I'm expecting to get any points anyway. So the biggest thing is Liverpool. So now Konate is injured. Okay, let's get rid of the easiest ones. Konate is injured, so it looks like Matip will come in. It could hurt in terms of the clean sheet chances, especially with West Ham seemingly on another gear at the moment. They're a bit more motivated. So the biggest question now is with Jota now back-to-back doubles, will he continue to start, or will Darwin come in, or someone else? Diaz. I don't think Diaz is ready because of long term. I think he'll still come in as a sub. And before the last weekend's match, Klopp did mention, because he was asked about Darwin Nunes, and then
Mhm.
thinking that he kept saying Darwin Nunes will have a part to play because of a lot of very tight scheduling in terms of the matches. So by all accounts, you could argue that this is the game that Jota would be benched or rested.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah,
think so because the next game versus Spurs, right?
yeah, correct. So you might want to save him, but the upshoot of it, he's in good form. So why not continue starting him? Plus the fact that Klopp has subbed him out in both matches, ostensibly to keep him fit and ready to play the next one. So it's a risk. So we don't know. Yeah, and Gapo was out.
Basically, I won't surprise if Nunes start this game. I think so. Mm.
Yeah, but of course for the rest of us, you got who has Alexander Arnold, who when attacking he'll be in midfield, and only in defending he'll be in defense. So yeah, if you haven't got TAA, it's a great time to you should get him on him now. If you only had him during the free hit, it's still a good time to bring him in.
If I may recall, okay, we're talking about last season. I still remember Matip with 5 million price. He actually performed late in the season. He got like goal and so on. I think I still remember that point. I don't know how much Matip right now, but if let's say Konate out for a particular
Pardon?
time, if let's say Konate out for a length time, right? Maybe he out for quite some time. Matip could actually be an option if you cannot stretch to TAA. I don't know. Matip, how much is it? 5 million plus? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's on 4.8 or something.
Okay, all right. There's something that
But it is. But the thing is, right now with the problem is with Liverpool on the verge of having a lot of attacking returns. Would you really want someone just for a clean sheet? Because even Robertson looks better, although obviously it costs a lot more. But
okay.
because with the attacking returns, it looks like you'd want attacking returns more.
Fair. All right. we shall see this game, man. All right.
Sorry, by the way, Batik is 5.9, so not as cheap as I thought.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Next game, man. Man City versus Arsenal. This is the game of the week. We also like to know what's the latest news because I think people are investing in Man City asset definitely. So, what's the latest news?
Okay, so aside, okay, I mean, there is no latest news. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
How, I still don't understand how this presser works. But there's the broadcast section and the
Okay.
what was the term that they use? Like that they won't reveal section. So apparently during the broadcast section, he wasn't asked any team news. So obviously those reporters don't play FPL. So we don't really know. So all we can do is based on what Pep did during the FA Cup semi-final, and we know that players like KDB was benched, and KDB Grealish, so we expect them to return to the starting lineup. Haaland played, but he was subbed off early at halftime. In fact, not halftime, but early. And actually, Mahrez was given the chance to take the penalty kick, the first goal, and Mahrez had a hat trick. So you
Yeah.
think that Mahrez would be on the bench, and the likes of KDB will return, Grealish will start, Haaland will start. So you've got your key players all there. Um,
Yeah.
Arsenal, it seems like the only, again, it's all about Saliba. But
Yeah.
I think Arteta is being a bit playing his cards close to his chest this time around. So I
Okay.
think there may be an issue. So we know that Zaka is a doubt, and Holding will come in, Zinchenko will come in, but I suspect there's someone else injured that Arteta's not revealing. This is my own
Okay.
gut feel. It
Alright.
will make me risky about pick up an additional Arsenal player if you don't already have one.
I think this really an important match. We all know by now if Man City wins all their games, including this, they will win the league. So it is actually in their hands. And in terms of Man City asset, I cannot see Pep will definitely play his best team against Arsenal. When you mentioned that KDB, Haaland, Grealish, all these players will play this game. That's what I feel.
Yeah. So that's why I feel that Arsenal has a disadvantage here because their best team is not available, which is
Yeah.
they don't have Saliba
Yep.
and Saka is also a doubt. So that
Yep.
too, I think
Yes.
it's going to be a stretch for Arsenal.
All right. And if I see the BBC Sports prediction, Man City gonna win this game by 3-1. And
Yeah.
yep. So
I
Haaland will
think
actually
I think for Arsenal to win this one, they need to be a bit unpredictable and not go with their commons lineup. I do feel that they should start Trossard. We
okay.
saw Trossard doing well and Martinelli. I have Jesus on the bench, let him come in as a super sub. I think that they need to try something different.
Okay. All right. Fair. Next game in Everton versus Newcastle. Newcastle on buoyant mood with 6-1 against Spurs last week, but Everton really need points. So what the latest news for both teams?
Yeah, so Everton Holgate got sent off last weekend, and it looks really dicey for them. So plenty of people still injured, but Dukure is off from his banning, and Onana could be available. So, but we do, and DCL has fortunately stayed fit. So it's really up to DCL. They really need to rely on DCL. um, Shah was subbed off early, so
Okay.
with a possible injury, so it's a bit of a worry. Bruno was subbed off early, but I think it wasn't due to any injury. So you got Willock, Murphy who scored 2 goals, Isaac who scored 2 goals. They should be fit. But of course, there are questions as to will Wilson get game time, and
Hmm.
because of the short turnaround time. Now Isaac was subbed off early to my dismay
Yep.
because I was hoping for a hat trick. Uh,
Oh,
but but I don't know. It's a tough one. It could go either way. I if you have Isaac, I would say keep him because he
okay.
can still come as a sub
Yep.
and do damage. Yeah, and field him, I should say. Yeah,
Okay. There'll be a
because
lot. Hmm. There'll be a lot of bench dilemma. People are thinking about they can actually play their five midfield or three forwards. They need to decide who to be benched.
Yeah, yeah.
Next game, man, Southampton versus Bournemouth. Okay, both Southampton at last place, but Bournemouth on they lost 4-0 last week, so they also need to bounce back. So, what the latest news?
Well, the thing with the bounce back issue is that Southampton, they didn't win, but they drew last weekend against the
Arsenal.
current leaders, Arsenal. So that's got to give some lift to them, and so again, if they win this match, they will still not be. They will still be in the relegation zone. So they need every points they can get now. Um, uh, Looking at the injury list that we see, there's nothing different really. It's just that Bednarak needs to be checked, because he had some head injury. Okay, on the Bournemouth side, yeah, no significant ones except for Jack Stephens, who can't play because against Southampton, which is his parent club apparently. Uh, so Solanke, who many people had on their free hit, he should come back, and we'll see there. But I don't, given that they don't have any double games, it's hard for us to pick any from these players right now.
Okay. I think Bournemouth do have two really winnable game against Southampton, and also I forgot another game. They can actually,
Oh,
I don't know if you're interested with Solanke.
a bit late. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Okay, man. Next, the last game of the week, which is Spurs versus Manchester United. Sorry, I did not have Spurs news here, but
No one.
I think I, I think the big news for Manchester United is Bruno Fernandes, man. So what you can update?
So okay, so Spurs, with the change in manager again, so we don't know, so there's no news. So Langlet could return to the starting lineup. Loris was substituted at halftime. Apparently he has some injury concern, but again, there's some conspiracy theories announcing it. That was more like Loris like mogok or something. I don't know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's something there again, but it looks that'll be good for Manchester United, especially for those who obviously still have Rashford. So Fernandes, we know that he was subbed off in the semi-final FA Cup. He was the one key player who was subbed off, apparently ostensibly due to an injury. But um, there was a picture posted by Fernandez's wife showing him in a protective boot, sitting, looking outside the garden or something. So we don't know. I mean, again, we got a lot of theories suggesting, this is all part of a plot by Manchester United to working together to show them as if he's not going to be ready, and then he's suddenly going to turn out. So, and apparently, some Manchester key observer thought that it was just for precaution, that protective boot. So we don't know. Yeah. So, but it's too dodgy for me. If I had Fernandez, I probably would get rid of him if I wanted to buy someone like Salah. And and the reality is with Fernandez, I know we're talking so much about Fernandez, but and again in the FA Cup he came close a couple of times. But the reality is his sharpness, it just isn't there, even though he seems to have a lot of XG, but he's not scoring anything. And in fact, his I'm just checking, the last time he scored was in game week 24, which was ages ago.
Yep.
No, 24 was two assists.
I can easily say that since I brought in Bruno in game week 26 on my wildcard, he did not do anything of attacking return since then.
So it's 2 points, 3 points, 2 points, 2.3. Congrats on the clean sheet, but that's it. So yeah, I feel that it's not as great a player as we think he is at the moment. So yeah.
Yep. All right, man. I think we already covered all the thing. I think this Bruno Fernandes news is interesting one for me because I had him. We'll decide what I'm gonna do with him. This is the top transfer for Game Week 33. Maybe people are wildcarding this week, okay? And also at the same time, people are transferring back from the free hitting team. But looks like Haaland is the most transfer in for this week, okay, 465,000 managers has brought him in. Then we can see there Rashford resurgence. Last time most transfer out, now second most transfer in with 393,000 managers. We can see interest of Isaac, 13 points last week. Diogo Jota, 13 points last week. And then Grealish maybe as a second asset after Haaland for upcoming game week 34 and the rest of the season. Top transfer out for this week, man. People already getting rid the likes of Kane, who do not double anytime. Saka, Tony, and then we have unpredictable Madison and then Jesus up front. So what do you think, Min, on this transfer traffic for game week 32?
It's a it's clearly, a lot of people are worried about Kane, in terms of his the potential and in terms of what's going on with Spurs. A lot of people are transfer out Saka, and then I guess one of the reasons is the fact that they don't have a double game, so it's hard. Yeah, and of course, this is the
This game week also they play against Man City.
exactly. So this is the week that if you wanted to get rid of this, might be the right time to do so. Other than that, looking back, yeah, nothing, no real surprises. I mean, Saka. Then you have Jesus also being sold out as well. I'm surprised a bit. Madison is there as well, but yeah, I think a lot of it because of his disappearance last week. So people are just giving up on him. Yeah, that's it. Nothing. Diogo Jota, now people are bringing it. Last week was last week no one was, everyone thought it was just a flash in the pan, and so now suddenly back to back, and then this is when he suddenly gets benched. So good luck with that.
Yeah. All right, I think we already covered all the team news and also transfer traffic. We can go to our team, Min. What's in your mind?
Okay, so shall I do my team first, since you
Yes.
you probably have a bigger dilemma?
Please.
All right. So let me just hang on. Let me just share my screen, and I am going to show you a surprise.
Wow, there is a surprise. Don't. I hope it's not about that Brighton attacking midfielder.
Okay, so you've got So I'm going with Raya, obviously.
Okay.
Instead
All right.
of Faga. So this is my backline: TAA, Trippier, and Shaw. So Shaw comes back into the starting lineup. Obviously, he didn't play last week
Okay.
because he was in the FA Cup. So that's it. And then you have ta-da! Salah Buonanotte, which is the Brighton midfielder, Andreas and
Oh
Martinelli.
my God.
Yeah, so Buonanotte, who costs a nice 4.5. I'm taking a punt on him, but I made two transfers. I took a -4 hit, and one of the other transfers was to bring back Haaland. So I brought Haaland. I sold Ferguson, who was himself a 4.5. So I have this thing for 4.5 Brighton, cheap Brighton players. So I brought Haaland back, which means I kept Darwin, and I've got Isaac as well. So that's my starting 11. So on the bench, I have I Kepa, Mitoma, Guel, and Emerson. So this is a bit of a dilemma that I have in terms of who to bench. I think everyone has a dilemma. This is mine. Nothing. Forest away are always tough, no doubt. Forest at home are always harder, and I'm a bit worried about Brighton. Mitoma didn't play the full 120 minutes, and I just felt that Mitoma looked a bit exhausted by the end of that match. I did watch the match, the last 30 minutes of extra time, so I'm not sure. So if I do play Mitoma, because Buonanotte is someone who, since I bought him, I'm going to play him. So who do I bench? Who else can I bench? Unless I get news that Isaac isn't starting, then I'll bench him for Mitoma. Otherwise, this is because Andreas will definitely start, and Andreas is pretty much the central figure for Fulham right now. So I can't see myself benching him, even though he was historically one of our most bench performers throughout the season. So that's it. So
Yep.
who did I sell? I sold Ferguson and Saka. to bring in
Okay.
Haaland and Burnham. Obviously, still had a lot of units lying around. That's why I was able to do it. But I felt I wanted to punt on Buonanotte as well as it leaving me some extra funds for later because he's 4.5.
Right. Pretty much that is Azmin that we know. Okay. He will go this kind of move. I never thought you're gonna mention about his name, but apparently you did make that transfer. I think this is a very cheeky move. But the thing is, benching Mitoma will not be the best option. I understand because those people are thinking about like Martinelli or Isaac to be benched this week. It's going to be tough. I mean, I
The
also
big,
how.
yeah.
No.
The biggest problem I have, I feel, is Darwin. Will he finally get the start? Yeah. So
I,
so
I feel so. He will start this one, and then Jota will start against Hotspur.
I
Spurs.
do think so because I know that last week I took Darwin, which to be fair was a punt in itself, but I
Yes.
felt that you want to keep Jota fit and you still need to be careful because he was
Yes.
on a long injury as well. So yeah, so
Yeah.
I think Darwin needs to get a shot at starting as
Right.
well. Yeah, he needs to be given that.
Okay. If I may say that I might actually play Mitoma, but for who is actually you need to decide whether Martinelli or Isaac.
Yeah.
A lot of people going to bench the Arsenal asset because we expect like a big score from Man City. But we know Martinelli on form and he actually turn out to score this goal, right? So I'm afraid of
Yes.
that. It's more in terms of 90 minutes, he will more secure. I think Isaac may be the one that you're going to bench because I think Callum Wilson will start this game week. And then Isaac will start against Southampton at home next week. That's what I feel.
So you think Wilson will be benched? So if I wanted to make a decision, then I should
I
bench
don't know.
Isaac.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's hard.
It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one that I can say.
It's a valid point. So I know the thing is Isaac was subbed off early, but then
Yep,
uh,
understand?
it's hard. It's hard. So we'll see. We'll see.
Because
We got we don't have
because
much time, do we? We got 20 minutes left to the deadline.
all right. We go to my team,
Yes,
okay?
yes, let's go to your
If
team.
I may share because I also have some dilemma. But the thing is okay, let me check. Is this the yeah, okay. I think you can see my screen and then my team. Yes, my team. Okay. You can see right.
Yes, I can see.
Okay.
Go, go, go.
I have dilemma like you mentioned. I think I'm gonna play Kepa over Raya just because they play at home. That's all I can say. Kepa did got 6 points last week over Raya 5 points. It's gonna be a close one. I think at home I just play Chelsea assets. Estuminan against Forest defense. Trippier away to Everton. And Chilwell maybe this is last hurrah before he will definitely move to someone like TA or Luke Shaw next week. And then in midfield, I have Mitoma, I have Grealish, I have Bruno right now, of which he might miss this game. And then I have Saka. And then I have Watkins, I have Tony against Chelsea, and then Haaland as my captain for this week. And on my bench, you can see there, I have Much, who, if let's say Bruno missed this game, then Much could come in. As easy as that. Or the other point, maybe since I played both Chelsea asset, I should bench Tony. That could be another option, but I don't know. With Chelsea, I'm not really performing. I think I will stick Tony in my team. About my Henry will be on my bench. I think I will play Estuminan, although Brighton might not actually keep clean sheet against Forest. But so be it. I think Estuminan need to be inside there. So I think another decision that I could still make, like I mentioned, offline main, right? Of which I have like 2.6 million in the bank. Okay.
Okay.
I could actually make a Salah move, of which I already mentioned that I want Salah in game week 34. Maybe I could actually make the move this week and get Salah, say, right? And then I need some money, of which I could downgrade Saka, which I don't want Arsenal asset moving forward anyway. And Saka actually play against Man City this week. And I get Rashford. because Rashford looks like he's fit, right? And he actually got some chances against Brighton, but he did
Yeah,
not score.
yeah, he
So
played. He played.
I take just -4 and get ready for game week 34. Salah, Grealish, Mitoma, March, and Rashford will be my midfield anyway in game week 34. And I think that's the move I could make. What do you think?
I look on the basis of the past 5, 6 matches alone, it's enough for you. Sell Fernandez for Salah. Both of them have double games anyway. So in terms of productivity, Fernandez wins out. Salah wins out hands down. Of course, he's a bit more expensive, but hey, who cares? Um, Salah
Right.
is
If
and
I make
Liverpool.
if I make this move, I will definitely have bench dilemma. Okay, of which who I'm gonna bench, whether one of Match Mitoma or Tony, I suppose, right? I think those the option.
Yeah,
I would definitely play Rashford and Salah if I bring them in.
I think you should bench. Let me see. God, it's a hard one. Yeah, Henry. Um,
I think defend I would just play three of them, but who to bench midfield of my attacker is just Tony or Mitoma or Match. I don't know. I think those are the options. So if I do not make any move, say I should just stick with this team. Match come in.
then
Hopefully
then you
Salah
just bench Fernandez.
yes, and then game in 34 and then get the Salah move. But you just never know, right? Salah could actually do something this week again. And then Rashford actually destroy or actually play some part in Spurs game. So I think that's the thinking that I need to make. All right.
Salah will do something. It's just you have to decide whether or not it's enough for you to pick him out now. You
Yeah,
can decide.
I think because Spurs versus Manchester United is going to be tight. And if let's say Spurs continue their bad form, I think Manchester United, but it's going to be tricky, right? Spurs could actually win that games and 1-0 against Spurs, right? Okay. Since I have 50 minutes to think about
Come,
it,
come.
let's
Let's go to
go for
questions.
yes, go to question and then maybe I could actually decide. All right, man. That's a quick one. I think Ivana did ask about this. Start Martinelli or Grealish? I think Grealish. What do you think, man?
This is a hard one, honestly. I it's equal. Start either. I think either one will have the chances. Both are in good form. So yeah, either one. I'm on the bench. I'm on the fence.
Okay, I'll play. I think I'm gonna play Grealish just because Man City gonna win that game. Grealish might be in the mix. Next
Okay.
question, Felix Lamare did mention Captain March versus Isaac versus Trippier. Wow, I don't know, man.
So this, oh, yeah, this is a tough one. Okay, one thing you got Isaac, you worried about him benching. March, not forget he played 120 minutes and missed that penalty. So on the basis of the issues that we have, I would go for captaining Trippier. As insane as it sounds, but you could get a clean sheet and some attacking points there. And we know he likes to hog the bonus points anyway if whenever he's involved. So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, fair. Next question from Rakat MPL. Welcome back, Rakat MPL. Kane to Salah for -4. Would you do it this week or just wait for one more week and then maybe do not take any minus? I don't know, man. What do you think?
Take it. You don't know what's going on with Spurs. Bring in Salah now.
All right, okay. But just to share with you, this calendar year, Kane has scored all his home game except one. So that's how fantastic Kane in terms of goal scoring at home. Okay. All right, next one. Bruno Fernandes to Salah. I think this is an easy one. If you have the money, Rakat MPL, I will make the move. But the thing is, I just need to think if let's say for a hit. But I think it's going to be pay off anyway because Liverpool has a really good fixture coming up anyway.
Yep, agreed.
This also a dilemma, like we mentioned. Azmi will play Raya. I'll play Kepa. I think it's a close one. It can be either way. Both are good at save point, and I think that's another good things about this keeper. Me, okay. Isaac question: if Isaac play against Everton this game week, will he play in 2 days time? Oh, I didn't realize that against Southampton.
No, he won't. That's the problem. And that's why the problem with us picking Isaac. The thing is, Wilson by himself is also a good player. There's nothing wrong with Wilson. It's just that Isaac is currently the one who's tearing it up and doing well. But then we if you remember not too long ago, when Isaac played and then Wilson came in and scored. And then when Wilson started and then Isaac came in and scored. So it's a risk with Isaac, and let's not forget that he does not have a double game next week. So there's a risk if you don't already have him.
All right. Next question: which player will have higher ceiling? Mean Jota or TAA? Jota risk rotation, but TAA also no clean sheet. What do you think, man?
I think Jota has a high ceiling, but for security, I'd go for TAA.
Okay.
But you don't want security at this stage of the season. Maybe that's not a problem. We're just gunning for it. Yeah.
Okay, with Bruno injury, will this affect Rashford? What do you think, man? Rashford will play up front?
I think it will affect. The thing is, we've got Martial now, and Martial can do well. If Martial is fit, Martial will play up front, not Rashford, because Rashford will, definitely play behind. So, but I do feel that Bruno is key to Rashford doing well, and I think there will be effect. But I think Rashford will still do okay, but maybe not explosive.
All right. I think this is a good question, man, in terms of captaincy, because we do not touch on that, really. Because you're going to captain Salah, and I'm going to captain Haaland. What do you think, man? If you are going for safe, go for Haaland, and if you want to go differential, go for Salah?
What does safe mean, really? Because you've got Salah, who is playing. Oh my God, who are Salah playing?
West Ham, away.
West Ham, there you go. West Ham, who are in the conference, so they theoretically quite exhausted and fit. Haaland, Arsenal are playing. Manchester City are playing Arsenal. Arsenal are well rested and they're the top of the league. Obviously, okay. Arsenal have been having some wobbles. So if you're going for safe, then Salah should be the better option, not Haaland. But with Haaland, you're banking on the fact that he's a kick-ass striker who's capable of doing anything at this point in time. So that's why you would go for Haaland. So yeah. I think Haaland has the highest ceiling, but I like Salah more this week.
All right. Okay. We did touch about much. The penalty miss, Azmin did mention much could actually affected his performance, but we're just not sure, right, man?
Yeah, it's really subjective. You got to make your gut call on this one because it could go either way.
Right. Interesting question. I think this can also refer to my team because I'm going to double up in terms of Chelsea defense with playing Kepa and Chilwell. Should I bench Tony? I think that's the logic one. If you want to think about it, it's going to be a tough one, right, man? Because Tony could easily score.
No, I don't think. I think with Chilwell, you need to rely on his attacking returns. So I would go for. I wouldn't bet Tony either.
All right. Okay. Fair. What else? Okay. Last question.
Maybe you should bench. Maybe bench Kepa if you have a playing keeper, other second keeper.
If I'm playing 3-5-2 starting Gameweek 34, which forward should I sacrifice? I think this is one of the things that people will need to think when they actually want money and actually distribute to Salah and TA. They would actually to get Greenwood. So which striker that people need to sacrifice? Watkins or Isaac, mean?
So basically the trick is now you basically just want funds. And so who are we selling? And on this question, based on just this, I would sell Isaac simply because Watkins will start every game. Isaac might not.
Okay. I think Azmi also got the point, but I will give another point of which I think Watkins is the sell I said to keep because Newcastle gonna double in game week 36. So that's where the trick will be. I said pretty much maybe his minute will not be secured, but he most likely will be the first team player. So maybe I said should be the one that you should keep and transfer out Watkins, even though he is on form, especially if you see this week against Fulham. If he scored brace, then you're gonna know it's gonna be tough in game week 34. All right, man. I think that's all the question need. I just want to go back to my team because I already made a move. Man, I'm not gonna sit on the bank on the fence. And I already made a move of which let me share. Share.
While you sharing it, there's an interesting question regarding Mahrez. He scored a hat trick. Should anyone think that Mahrez might start against Arsenal and perform?
I don't I don't think so. Mahrez maybe he's still a good player, but I don't think he will play as a first 11. Maybe they will start more cautious like Silva and also Grealish.
Okay, so I'm scrolling through the tweets and seeing what if there's anything
Okay.
coming up. But okay, back to you. Switch off the question.
Okay, sorry. Switch. Can you see my team? No.
I saw it just now. It disappeared again. Now you disappeared. All right. So any more questions, guys? So we're coming down to a few more minutes left. I'm not sure what happened to Hafiz. So there's another question on if Havertz not fit. Aubameyang, good point. The answer is no. Rakan PL, no Chelsea players at this point in time. You don't want any Chelsea players. Okay, so let me. Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. Hi. So I was just answering Rakan PL had another question on with Aubameyang is a good punt. The answer is totally no. So we got 5 minutes left till the deadline, and Hafiz, you need to make. Oh, you've made the move already? Is that
I made a
Salah?
move, man. So basically, I made that move -4. I bring in Rashford and Salah in for Bruno and also Saka out. I think this the move that I'm gonna make anyway next week. Why not I go move this week and get them in? And I think I'm gonna bench match for now. There is
Okay.
potentially Tony to sub in for match. But as you mentioned, Tony could score against Chelsea, but it's up to me right now. I think I got like 5 minutes to think about this. But Rashford are now in with Salah, and but Haaland is still captain for this week. No more Arsenal asset moving forward.
No, I don't know. Arsenal can be explosive, but
Yeah.
I get the problem without a double game on their hands. I mean, we'll have to let's see what pans out with the results for this week with Arsenal versus Manchester City. So I haven't seen any early random news aside from Madison having traveled, so he is in the team. So he will start. Other than that, okay, the question with Steele. So I think
Okay.
the popular trend right now is that people are starting Steele, gonna start for Steele and hope for the best. I guess that's how you should go about it. If you think that Steele, regardless, just start Steele and then let's see. But honestly, I think that Forest will score. So I don't think Steele will do much anyway. If it's Steele versus Kepa, if Kepa Raya, yes, go for Raya. But I do think that Forest will score.
Okay. I just read in the Premier League site about like question just now from Rakyat Biar, Salah or Haaland for captain. Definitely there will be biasness. Haaland, he averaged 10.1 points per home start in his debut fantasy campaign. Haaland can deliver yet another huge haul against an Arsenal side who have conceded at least twice in each of their previous 3 games. So I think that's
Yeah. So
something
the
that,
question that we need to ask ourselves now is: are Arsenal really gonna buckle like mad? And the the popular theory now is yes, because they conceded 3 against the bottom team in the league, which was Southampton. So it's just a case of, is Haaland going to be taking all those goals? And that's where you need to decide in terms of
Okay,
points.
there also interesting question here in the Premier League of with who do I bench? Like we mentioned,
I think that's the biggest problem.
Okay. Which one do I bench? So March, Mitoma, Saka, Grealish, Rashford, Kane, or Watkins. There's a plenty of name there. So the scout says probably March because he played 120 minutes in the FA Cup semi-final, and DZB has confirmed that the attacking midfielder, your player now, Facundo Bonate, will start
Do you
against.
just swear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Much could see reduced minutes or be benched. That could be a possibility, right, mate? So I think that's the answer from the scout.
The thing is, we saw that Brighton really wanted to win that game, and that's why most of the key players, March, Mitoma, McAllister, all played the full 120 minutes. Yeah, so that's where the challenge is. Yeah, so it is a question of whether they'll be affected. For me, I actually sold March last weekend for Andreas, so it's not an issue for me. And to be fair, I was hoping something like this would happen so that I wouldn't feel so bad. So now I don't feel so bad.
This also question here. Should I play
Go on.
Kepa? Should I play Kepa or Raya? I think we have like 2 minutes.
Right,
It's tricky.
Raya.
Okay, the scout says tricky. Both have been in fine form recently, with Raya making 11 saves in a recent match with Brighton and Kepa making 9 saves again in Gameweek 32. I will lean towards Kepa because Chelsea are playing at home, but it's really a cost point. So I think that's answer our question. You can go either way.
Yeah, but Brentford are in good form and Chelsea have been rubbish. So, so I'm sorry, but that's the reality. Chelsea have been pants. They lost to Brighton. They lost to Wolves. I'm sure they made lots of saves, but look at the teams they've lost to. So yeah, Chelsea.
By just reading this, I think it just for me in terms of my lineup this week, I think I'm gonna bench March and I'm gonna play Kepa. I think I already answered my bench dilemma. How about you, mean?
Yeah. Bench Kepa, bench March. I do think Brighton is going to find it hard against Forest, but
I feel so.
But yeah, Forest are desperate now. They need the points, and the next 3 matches are the points that they really need. Because after that, it gets even harder for them. So just a quick, is there anything else? Forest play Brighton, followed by Brentford, and the next one is Southampton, I think it was. Yes. Yeah, so those 3 matches they have to win because after that they will play Chelsea. Okay, they can win against Chelsea as well, actually. Yeah, they realize that they play Chelsea. So yeah, and then after Gameweek 37 they play Arsenal. Yeah, and Gameweek 38 they play.
All right, man. We are officially the deadline is over. Gameweek 33 is locked, and you can now wait until the team news at 1:30 a.m. I think that's all for us from the deadline stream. Man, your last word.
Oh, this is fun. I think we should do it more often. And I think maybe with regards to the format, something to think, especially when we are quite near the deadline, is that maybe we can answer the questions earlier as the questions come up. I don't know. It's something to think about.
Yeah, I agree.
But otherwise it's been fun, and I'm happy to be back after Raya to do this, and hopefully my Raya will be Baraya tomorrow night. Sorry, I had to use that. It's Raya time, okay? It's Raya time.
So I think until then we hopefully can see you guys again for another deadline stream, Gameweek 34. The deadline stream will be the 30th.
It's a Saturday. It's a morning.
Okay, we shall see how. So from me, good luck for this Gameweek 33, and hopefully can plan ahead, which is a big one, Gameweek 34. Until then, stay safe. Good luck for this week, and may the force be with you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.